Hello, everyone. Hello, I
Hey,
see Isaac. How's
hey,
everyone
Ruby.
doing?
Doing
I
good,
see we
doing
have
good.
a lot of folks.
Hello,
Yeah, we
hello.
have a lot of folks here today. Hi, Rohit. We have Pratik. Hi, Pratik. Hi,
Hey
Chintan.
Ruby,
Hi.
So this is probably the most amount of people we've ever had on a stream, right, Isaac?
Yeah, big party.
Yeah. Yeah, we have an enormous party for our first stream of the year, so I'm super excited. As a lot of folks know, just based on the title of this stream, we are here to talk about our Flows Hackathon. But before we jump into that, if you're new to our stream, well, first of all, if you're joining right now, welcome. And please let us know where you're joining us from. We love to see where everyone's coming in from. But yeah, if you're new to our stream or to the Postman Student Programs in general, pretty much what we do on our team is promote API literacy and API education through a couple of different programs that you can find on our webpage. You'll see that in just a moment on your screen, or the link to that in just a moment. But these programs are free, and they offer digital badges that you can display on your social profile, like LinkedIn or even on your resume. Isaac, do you mind sharing with folks what they can expect usually from our streams?
Yeah, definitely. So tune in to the student programs live stream hosted by Ruby and myself for streams where we bring on Postman guests or students that will share their experiences doing our student expert program, other Postman employees sharing what they're building or new things they're expanding on the product itself. And also just come along for fun demos that we do live, and we learn from our mistakes, which is a huge part of our streams and our culture at Postman, and just for a fun and good time. And then also at the end, I won't spoil it, but we might have like a fun short trivia game. So always got to tune until the end.
Nice. Yeah, Isaac gave us a cool heads up into what we'll be expecting at the end here. But before we jump into a lot of that fun stuff, let's get some formal introductions out of the way. So what we'll do for our guests here who are not quite used to our stream just yet, what we do with our formal introductions is we share our name, our role, our location, and how long we've been in the Postman community. So I'll start. My name's Ruby, and I'm a senior developer advocate at Postman. I'm from Providence, Rhode Island, which is in the United States, and I've been at Postman almost a year and a half now. Isaac, can you share your name, your role, your location, and how long you've been in our community as well?
For sure. Hey everyone, my name is Isaac Atif. I am a developer advocate on the student programs team here at Postman. I've been here for a little over 6 months, and really excited to be joining Ruby and everyone else in this stream, congratulating the winners of the Flows Hackathon.
Isaac, do you want to facilitate our guests and see if they can introduce themselves as well?
Oh yeah, of course. So here we have Rohit Chintan, and they're also Rohit. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hello, my name is Rohit Purkait, and I am a Postman student leader. And I have been a part of this community for over 4 months. So, yeah, that is my introduction.
Awesome, Chintan. Please
Chintan,
share.
you can go ahead with your introduction.
Okay, so hi guys. So this is Chinda Patel, and I'm currently a final year computer engineering student from LDRP. It's in Gandhinagar, Gujarat. So I'm from Gujarat, India. And talking about community, I joined the Discord community around a year ago, and it's gonna be completing a whole year, like within 5 or 10 days. So that's the thing. And apart from that, currently I'm got the role of a cloud engineer at the Intuitive Cloud. So that's all from my side. I want to give the mic to Pratik.
great. Hey everyone, my name is Pratik Pakle and I am the Postman student leader from my campus of IIIT Dharwad. I actually hail from Sangli, which is in Maharashtra, India, and I have been a part of this community for a significant amount of time now. So it's good to be in front of you all. Let's demo our
Let's
flows.
demo our flow. Yeah, before we jump into those demos, I know you're excited, Pratik, but thank you so much, everyone, for your wonderful introductions and for letting us know how long you've been in our community. I was actually surprised to hear some of you have been here for such a long time. And Rohit, I've seen you so active in the community, I would have thought you've been here forever. So that was all super cool to hear. But before we jump into those demos, like you mentioned, Pratik, we do want to take a look at our Student Expert program for those folks who are curious, because Isaac and myself, we talk about Student Expert all the time, but not a lot of folks actually know what that looks like. So I'm going to flash a link across the screen really quickly. This is the Student Expert application. If you visit that page, then you will see, let me actually share my screen here. You'll see this landing page. So this is our Student Programs webpage. This is where you'll find all of our programs, all of those free programs. And those are the Student Expert program, the Student Leader program, and the Classroom program. But we're zooming into Student Expert right now. So taking a look at this, if I select Learn More, I get kind of forced down the page a little bit. And you can see what Student Expert consists of. You'll get API and Postman training. This is through SkillJar, our learning management system. You'll also get an opportunity to earn a badge, like we mentioned before. You also get exclusive access to Postman meetups and events. So for example, this hackathon that we had, this was exclusive to our Discord community and to students in our program. So folks who are joining us today as guests, as winners of that hackathon, they had exclusive access to that hackathon because they were part of our program. And you also get an invitation to online Student Expert program community and our Discord community. So once you select Apply to be a Student Expert, again, it's free, emphasizing that it's free. You fill this out really quickly with your details. How did you learn about Postman programs? If it's from the live stream, you would have selected live stream. Submit that, and you'll get a link to join our SkillJar learning management system. And that is a link that will be unique to you. So once you apply, you can see the training and earn your free badge. Isaac, I know that folks who are doing Student Expert nowadays who have questions, they have an opportunity to join office hours. Can you tell us about office hours?
Yeah, for sure. So every Thursday, the student programs teams host office hours in our student community Discord server. So definitely join that. Our schedule is posted in the server itself. So just jump into, we'll share the invite to our Discord there, as you can see, and we'll also share it in the chat. But yeah, come in with your questions for student expert training. And you can also learn more about our programs and ways to level up your API skills through our blog, which you can also find on the Student Programs Showcase page that we have on LinkedIn.
Yep, and that Student Programs LinkedIn page link is also on the screen here right now. So if you were curious about that and you wanted to check out previous live stream episodes or all of those blog posts that Isaac just mentioned, you can find that on the LinkedIn page. Awesome. So now that we've gotten all of those extra details out of the way, let's jump into what we are discussing today. So I will find where that is really quickly. So what are we discussing? Pratik actually gave us a heads up. We're talking about the winning submissions for the Go with the Flows hackathon. So Pratik, Rohit, and Chintan are here to share their winning submissions, their winning projects for that Go with the Flows hackathon. I'm sure our audience is super curious about what went into those projects, and you might even have questions for them as they're demoing. So if you have any questions for these folks who are presenting, please throw those questions into the chat. I have my own couple of questions lined up. I'm sure Isaac does as well, but we'd love to hear from you too. So let's actually pass the mic over to Pratik. Pratik, just starting out, as you're getting ready to screen share as well. Actually, before I start asking you your questions, Pratik, sorry about this. I do want to give a background on Postman Flows and the hackathon for our audience. So I want to make sure I don't skip that. So folks who are curious what was going on in the background, the Postman Student Programs team recently hosted a hackathon exclusively on our Discord server for students in the program. The hackathon was called Go with the Flows, and the challenge was to build a Postman flow using at least one API call. For those that don't know about flows, it's pretty much Postman's latest way to build API applications in a low-code way. That's low, L-O-W, low-code way. In fact, it's designed to be a visual programming language specifically for APIs. And you can find more information about flows and this hackathon in this blog post that I'm going to share here. So if you're curious about that blog, you can find that at this link. And now I'm going to pass it over to Pratik. So Pratik, as you have your screen share ready on the side here, what does your flow accomplish? Go ahead and walk us through what's going on here.
Okay, so most of us, I believe every one of us, use Spotify to listen to awesome music around. What my flows actually does is from Spotify API, it takes your top tracks, which are like Spotify provides us with around 50 of your most hearing which songs which we hear the most. And what my flow tries to do is it takes all those tracks and extracts all the characteristics of it. Maybe like it could be how energetic the song is, how loudness, the acousticness, or the balance of the song. It takes all these properties and then it converts into a nice little pie chart over there. And it takes the pie chart and uploads to Twitter and it's on your behalf. So everything is visualized in a flow. Yeah.
Awesome, Pratik. Thanks for giving us a heads up into what that looks like. I do have another question for you. What motivated you to create this particular flow? It's Spotify and Twitter, right? So there's two different APIs being used. Was there something that you were solving for?
I was actually fiddling with Spotify API at the time when the hackathon was just announced, and I'm pretty active on Twitter. So I thought, why not use something with do with Spotify and post it on Twitter. So yeah, that was the pretty
Yes,
much.
I might have missed this, but yeah, I might have missed this, but it looked like you were creating some kind of pie chart at the end there. Can you share that one more time so folks can see what happens at the end of your flow? This is like the end result.
Okay, just a minute. Quickly share it.
And Isaac, maybe you can share the link to that workspace where all these flows are. I'll add it to our super secret private chat, and then you can add it to our public chat here in just a moment.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so can you guys see my tweet here? Hello, I'm audible. Can you just quickly confirm?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, so at the end of the flow, what my flow does is it tweets this Spotify latest tracks, and as you can see here, all the properties are converted into a pie chart, and it is been posted on Twitter. So, should I demo my flow or?
Yeah, you still have a few minutes. So if you want to demo how it works, like we all love watching the animation of flows. So feel free to do that as well.
Just a minute. Okay, so first of all, I'll quickly walk through with the flow. I have all my credentials here, so I have hidden them. So I have majorly you'll be needing 5 tokens, which are 4 of them are for Twitter and one is the Spotify token. And first of all, we'll get all the top tracks from Spotify. Then we'll get the IDs of these tracks, and then we'll like join them with a comma and serialize them together. We'll send all these IDs to another API of Spotify, which is Audio Features API, which will return all those features, which are as you can see here. Then we'll just take average of all those songs and convert them and scale them into 0 to 1, so that we can have a linearity on our pie chart. And then based on all these features, we use a library called pie chart.js, and they have also an API, and they require an object which is in the format which you can see in their docs. I have mentioned it here. Now the tough part was to convert this image into a string, the base 64 encoder. So as Ruby said, Postman flows are low level coding. So I just developed a small endpoint where you can send the object of the chart and it will return with a base 64 encoded string, which is basically the image which is encoded. Now, how Twitter media upload works is we have to first send a media, and it will return with the media ID. So first of all, we'll send this image to Twitter media upload, and then Twitter will respond with the media ID, and we'll get that media ID and we'll attach it with our tweet. So as you can see here, it is text and the media ID is here, and then we'll just create the tweet with all those 4 tokens. So let's just quickly visualize in nice animations. Variables are being loaded. We get our talk tracks. We get the audio features. Now the request is being sent to and the image so that we get a base 64 encoded image. It will take a little time to generate the image. And
I'm
after we get
obsessed with this animation.
and then it will upload to Twitter, and it will tweet, and we'll log here. Tweet sent successfully. I'll just quickly share my screen again. Uh, I'll just refresh my feed. As you can see here, tweet was sent 23 seconds ago. Spotify latest tracks.
That is very cool. I love how you incorporated base 64 encoding. I'm sure there was a huge learning curve with regard to that as well.
Exactly.
So were there any learnings? I'm sure that's probably part of it that you'd like others to know about.
Yeah. So implementing, getting all the 4 tokens for Twitter. For that, we have to implement OAuth 1.0, and we have to get all those 4 tokens. And actually, Twitter has their own official Postman collection where they have documented everything. So just by going through it, you will understand how OAuth works, and you can get those 4 tokens. Also, yeah, like Ruby mentioned, the conversion part was I have to use something to convert those image into base 64 encoded string and then upload to Twitter. How Twitter media upload works, and yeah, so it was a great learning curve. Feel free to ask any questions if you have.
For sure. I'm hoping that some questions jump into the chat here, but we did get a lot of congratulations for you, Pratik. It sounds like folks are very excited that you were able to win this hackathon. And just based on what we just saw, it's not a surprise that you were one of the winners. It sounds like, just for the sake of time, I do want to make sure that Rohit and Chintan also get a chance to share their project too. But as questions start coming in, we'll share that across the screen, Pratik.
Great.
But yeah, awesome.
Great.
Thanks so much for sharing that. We'll
Thank
jump right
you.
into Rohit. Yep.
Thank you.
We'll jump right into Rohit here. So Rohit, if you have your screen share ready, I can share that on our screen up here. Let me actually unmute here. There you go. So Rohit,
Yeah, sure.
before we jump into your demo here, what does your flow accomplish?
Okay. So with my flow, what I try to do is, since flow is all about visualizing, right? And as a Postman student leader, we are given the API one-on-one content to give the student the lectures, the session. So I wanted to make things easier for the leaders so that they are easily able to visualize the entire collection. And I also wanted to make things easier for all the students so that they are able to visualize that what each and every API request is doing, and also what the whole collection works as a whole. So that was my idea behind the flow that I wanted to make.
Cool. So just summarizing here, this is the API 101 collection, right? That is used for workshops.
Yeah.
And it uses this jokes API. And so what you've done is turn that into a flow. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So do you want to demo how it works and see how that animation again gets everything accomplished here?
Yeah, sure. So my flow is very simple. it just follows a CRUD operation based on jokes. So as we can see that first we have the post request of the joke, which creates the joke in the server. Then we are fetching to check that if our joke is posted or not. Then again, by taking the same ID, we are trying to update the joke that we have already created. Then again, we are fetching the joke, and then again deleting the joke to check if it's deleted or not. Now, one thing that I have done with this is that I have constructed the console logs in the same format as the whole request is happening. So after this collection runs totally, from the console log, one user will be able to understand that how the collection is working and how each of the API requests worked as a whole. So as we can see that the update is being done, then we are fetching the joke, and then the delete is being processed, and then again we are checking that if the joke is being deleted or not. So looks like our flow has totally run successfully. Now if we open the console log, here we can see that first the post request was made, and then we fetched from the API to check that whether or not our joke was properly posted or not. Then we updated our joke. As we can see, the joke from the post request to put request is different. So that means that our request was successful. On the site, you also get the status code and the time as well. On next day, we deleted the joke and we again fetched the joke. And as you can see that there is no console log. So this means if we go to the response body, it shows that joke not found. So that means that our joke was deleted properly. So this was my entire flow.
This is awesome, Rohit. We did get a request from someone in the chat. If you could zoom into all of those different blocks so we can really see what's going on. And we did some great annotating there as well that folks will probably want to see.
Okay, so one thing I have also done with this, since it is very hard to check this entire flow from a zoom level kind of view, because like you can zoom in, but it's very hard to understand each of these different things. What I have also made is create a different flow for each and every of the request separately, right? So if I do the create a new joke, so here we can see that only the creation part has been done separately. So anyone, if we want that how the post request is working, they can check that out. Then the same goes for getting the joke, same goes for updating the joke, and so on and so forth. So everything is made separately, and then at the end, everything is taken as a whole. So the user is able to understand fully how the application works.
I think this was one thing that our team, as we were judging, and even the flows engineers really enjoyed about your flows, was that it's so modular. Like anybody can look at it and say, oh, I can just plug and play my different requests and test my collection in the same way. It's very understandable. Folks can just plug and play and reuse your flow for their own use cases. So that was one thing, because usefulness was one of the criteria for our hackathon. This was super useful for a lot of folks. So awesome work on this one, Rohit. Looks like folks really wanted to take a closer look at yours. And we got another congrats for everyone here in the chat. Let me see, did I have another question for you? Rohit, you did mention this a little bit, but was there any other motivation that went into this particular flow? Why did you want to make this jokes API flow?
So actually, this motivation came from my life. Actually, the principle that I follow in life, that is to keep things simple, right? And so going forward with the flow, I wanted to make the life simpler for the Postman student leaders, as well as the student who will in future watch the whole session from different leaders. And with flows in the picture, I really think that the students will be able to visualize that how the collection is working as a whole.
Yeah, for sure. So that is applicable to other student leaders as well. So they can just, for the same collections that they're using for their presentations, use the flow as like a supplement or even a replacement, depending on the audience and what they need to see. So that's awesome. I love that that's where your head was at. And I also love your motto, keep it simple. Something I've heard in the past is KISS, keep it simple. And I'll replace the last letter with silly, keep it simple, silly. But yeah, that's one that I hear a lot. And I love that that was part of your motivation there. Let me see. Did I have one other question? Any like takeaway learnings from this that you want to share quickly? So Rohit, did you have any learnings from creating
My
the flow?
learning, I think that flows is going to change the whole. Yeah. So as I was mentioning that I think that Flows is going to change the API world. I think this because this whole collection that I have made is just the beginning, right? So just think that a big tech corp with huge collections of APIs just make a flow for each of their collections, and you as an end user, when you want to implement that API into your application, you just run the flow, and you get the entire idea that how each and every API request is working. And then by looking at the flow, you are able to implement that API into your application. So with that future in my head, I think that flows is really awesome, and it is going to change the API world.
I love it. I want to get that on a t-shirt. But yeah, Rohit, thanks so much for sharing your flow and for the hard work that you put into it, and even for going back and zooming in and sharing your thoughts. Chintan, take it away, share your screen, let us know what your flow looks like, and we'll be asking you questions as well. So let me adjust some audio here. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah. So should I start with my flow?
Yeah, so let us know, what does your flow accomplish? And then just jump right into that demo.
Okay, so got it. Yeah, so basically the name which I gave to this flow is get answer in one sentence. And it basically does what it does. Like if you want it, if you have any sort of question, you can just type it here and you will get the answer in just one sentence only. So how does I accomplish it? So this flow is using two APIs. One is OpenAI API, which is by OpenAI, and the second one is Slack API. So I have created this flow integrating two APIs. So what it does at starting, let's just go through the flow one by one. Then we will actually see the demo, like how it goes. So basically, this is the request which is mainly for sending the request to OpenAI endpoint. So basically, what is it takes your question. You can see here what you can take any question, like whatever you want to prompt, it will ask question. You will type it there, and it will take it as an input, and it will send the request to OpenAI endpoint, and you will get the response. And ultimately, the response is not like you will get a particular sentence only. So here I'm actually fetching the value, which is the answer. And after that thing, I'm using this block just to make a tiny bit of changes, because the response which I was getting has additional new line character. But what I wanted to do is that I just want to print in just a simple format without having any additional new line at the starting. So that was the thing. And basically, after having that thing, whatever the output is basically the answer to our question that we have asked. And it basically sends a second request to Slack channel. So basically, I have done a Slack request. So I have done the OF dance token, everything. I got the OF, and now you can send that particular answer to Slack channel. So with the answer and the question, so people might get track of this thing. And there is this thing like a HTTP status. What if the request is not successful? We have to also tackle about the failure scenario. So what it does, whenever the whatever the first request is coming, I'm checking the status code. If the status code is 200, it obviously means that it is successful. So in that case, if it is the true, I would be sending like this request, which is actually going to send the answer to Slack channel, will send only after, like if the status is 200. Otherwise, if it is the false case, it will send the another request. Like here it would be like, okay, something went wrong, something like that. Okay, so let me just actually try to show you how everything happens, the cool magic. Okay, so okay, I need to remember. Okay, there is this. What is Postman? We need to ask this thing to OpenAI. Let's see if OpenAI is able to answer this thing or not. So let me run the flow, and everything is going on like it is fetching the answer. It is removing the new line character, and it will basically send the request to a Slack channel. Let me share actual my Slack channel. Just give me a sec. Mm, share. Okay, got it. Window. Okay. Can you see the question which was asked, what is Postman? And OpenAI knows that Postman is a collaboration platform for API development. So this is the one example, but I also want to try some few. Like, let's just have a demo about another question also, because I'm not happy with just one thing. Okay, let me again share it. Okay. Okay.
I love that
Okay.
you're trying a bunch of different questions there in Slack. This is great to see.
Okay, so this is the thing. Let me ask. Like, I was trying like a uh, how to get rid of how to overcome regrets in life. Let's see if it is able to answer this thing or not. Basically, it is sending the response. It's evaluating, and okay, it might have sent the answer. Let me also try one another question. Right? What should I do to become more happy in my life? Let us try it. If OpenAI knows the answer. And okay, it would be sent by this time. Let me share the actual stuff, actual Slack. Let me just stop sharing this. And once again, Chrome tab and the okay, share. Okay, so for regarding the regrets is about you can forgive yourself and move on. And what about becoming more happy? Focus on the positive and practice gratitude. So this was actually I think, and one interesting thing that I okay, yeah. Okay, so one interesting that I want to tell you is that while I was using this thing like OpenAI, so I was like, I'm getting answer in like kind of bunch of sentences, like more than one sentences. Like obviously you can't get just answer in one thing. So what can I actually do is that I can just do some sort of JavaScript logic and try to just get the first sentence. So it was kind of overhead. Then I just thought about why not just ask AI, just answer in one sentence. So I use this thing as a you can say prefix part, so I will like answer in one sentence, then whatever the actual user wants to say, it would be appending. So ultimately, it will give response in just one sentence only. So that was a kind of a neat trick which I used. So yeah, this is all. Like you are seeing the actual response and everything. If you guys have any question, I'm open to that thing.
Yeah, I have a quick question. So you mentioned that you found a way to limit the response to be just one sentence. Is that, did you code that somewhere in your flow or in a request somewhere that you can show us?
No, okay, yeah, it's not about changing anything. I just put it as a text. Like, let me actually tell you like how I did it. Like, if I share the Postman, so basically, okay, this is the actual request. So if I go to my collections, see here the post completion. What I did is that when I am sending here is the body part. Actually what is this you can see this is the prompt. This is actually going to be the question that is going to be asked by the user, and ultimately this would be fetched while you are typing that thing now. So actually in flows you can see here when you type this thing, it will be taking this thing and it will fetch into the body part, this here the prompt part. And what is prefix part? So it's a collection variable. You can say okay, let me just get the collection variable. Okay, AI, and here is the collection variable. I'm just adding prefix part, like answer in one sentence only. So basically it is sending both the things together, like answer in one sentence only, and the second part is what is Postman. So AI knows that it has to return in just one sentence only. That was a neat trick.
That is awesome. So something I'm wondering, you're using OpenAI, and I know that OpenAI has been trending a lot, especially because of ChatGPT. Is this the
Yeah.
same technology that is being used in ChatGPT?
Yeah, the thing was that I actually came to know about this thing after I was playing with ChatGPT. So then I came to know about this hackathon. I'm like, I need to make something creative, innovative, something like that. So I have my whole flow in my mind. Then I'm like, okay, subconsciously this was going on, like to make something unique. Like I went to Rapid API and everything, but I'm like, this is something familiar, like Weather API and everything. So that was a thing. But I'm like, okay, I played with ChatGPT, and I remember when I was creating OpenAI account, there was this section like API keys. Like I got to know about, okay, I have seen this thing, so somehow I can replicate those GUI stuff into a Postman thing, like sending requests and getting the response. And specifically, this is not just about ChatGPT. It was a part of. Then I'm like, okay, I want this same replication. So how can I do this thing? So I'm like ChatGPT API. So it was not exactly that thing. It's like text completion API in AI. So basically, ChatGPT has the context of the previous question which was asked. Here is way much simpler. So this is not exactly that thing, but it is just by OpenAI. So that was the thing.
I have a question,
I know
Chinson.
for a
So,
fact that. Sorry, go ahead, Isaac.
oh, I was just going to ask you, Chintan, was there anything you learned while using flows that made the experience like especially really exciting, or like your biggest takeaway that
Yeah.
made this really a fun project or exciting project for you?
Yeah, like this is the thing. When I came to know about like hackathon, it was like 4 days ago actual deadline. So I planned everything because this was the thing. Like I was not knowing about flow. I had to start from scratch. So basically, I need to plan something. So this is something like which I need to get in future. Currently, I don't know how to do that thing. I will plan something. I will execute. I will learn everything, like how to find the resources, how to go through that thing, how to like plan and execute, like what are the stuff, how to manage time also, because these things teaches me more than what just it actually looks. I definitely learn about flow, like how everything works, different types of blocks. I went through live stream and everything, like YouTube examples. Then I came to know about what is like kind of what I can build. So this is thing which I truly believe. If you are aware about something, you can build something creative out of that thing. Suppose if you don't know that, you can loop over a certain array inside Postman Flow. So it's pretty much unique. If you don't know it, and if you just want to try Postman Flow, you would like is there might be a way or not. You have to try something. But if you know, if you are just aware, I'm not telling you like you are actually know how to do that thing. But if you are just aware, like this is something which can be possible, you can pretty much think in that way, which can help to build something from your existing knowledge. So this is something which I was trying my own principles and trying to like getting into like in hackathon. So that was kind of a unique experience, like thinking about something, executing it, planning it, and everything. So that was kind of one of the takeaway.
Yeah, I like that. I like that, especially a helpful, encouraging advice you shared. If there's one tip you could give to our listeners on using flows to learn more easily, what would it be?
So basically, Flow as is kind of a low code thing. So if you're very new, like if you don't know any developer stuff, and if you want to just jump into this thing, this might be the thing. Like, okay, just try with this thing and get fascinated and just try to learn more, and then you can just go to the actual developer development thing. So it's not like you just have to stick to this thing, but this can be an entry point for someone who doesn't know anything. And one of the use case about Postman Flow, which really is good for a like for a developer. By the way, I love JavaScript. So if I'm getting a whole collection which is having all the requests, I would be obviously going for collection runner. But it really shine. Suppose you get random collection, okay? So one collection is regarding Twitter, one collection is regarding OpenAI, and I don't have much time, and I want to execute a flow. So one request going into another, fetching something. So here flow does is that you can actually select from any collection. You can like you can select the environment specific anything. So in collection runner, there's this specificity. You can't change the environment. Every request should be in that collection only, and you have to remember the name, like how the goes everything. But flows is like, okay, if you do it very fast, okay, you got everything covered. It you just make it a flow and just boom, it just go in a single shot. So yeah, for a beginner, for those who doesn't know how to actually implement something, the request loop thing in JavaScript, and also this is the thing, if you want to run two requests simultaneously, flows implicitly understand when to make it. Suppose I am waiting for the HTTP response code and while sending a request, so it will run the next request only after everything is done. So kind of a promise, like it is waiting for all the promise to kind of fulfill. It's an implicit thing. We don't have to worry about everything. But if I'm doing using JavaScript, I have to take care of everything. So Flow is a really good thing.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned that Flows has some flexibility, especially in terms of like selecting environments where with the collection runner, you're kind of like married to one environment and there's not as much flexibility there. So like you mentioned for beginners, it's especially helpful to see and visualize all of this different workflows, inflows, and be able to select your environment accordingly. That's awesome. I love that you had that learning and that you're able to share that valuable learning with our audience. Awesome.
Thank you.
So
Thanks.
I'm going to unmute everyone here just for a moment because we are going to jump into a couple of shout outs. Hopefully I got everybody. Cool. So that was really awesome. I loved being able to see everyone's flows and being able to see you all run it, especially because I know we all love to see that animation. I don't know about you, Isaac, but I've been thinking about what the hand gesture for flows is going to be. I've got it down to like just two things now. So it's either like this number right here or this one, which is a little bit harder to do.
Or maybe
But yeah.
2 fingers.
Oh yeah, that's another one. We'll have to figure that one out. Looks like somebody has shared here. Navya said, really loved all the flows. So I don't know if you all caught this, Rohit, Pratik, and Chintan, but you got a lot of love in the chat for your projects. People are really excited to see it. Awesome. But let's jump into some shout outs. So I'll start. But before I start, our guests here, just to let you know, we like ending our streams with shout outs for our community members. When we get to your turn, what you'll be doing is sharing some advice that you have for others who are considering Postman Student Programs. So Isaac and I will be sharing a community shout out, and you'll be sharing advice for others who want to consider Postman Student Programs. But yeah, with that, let me just jump into my shout out. Recently, the Abby, who is a user in our Discord community, shared an app that they built called Double Pendulum. It's essentially exactly that. It's an interactive double pendulum. I started playing around with it and became obsessed with all the ways that I could change its motion, seemingly at random. I even took a look at the code for the app in GitHub, and my word, the Abby put so much thought into the calculations behind the scenes to make it all look random. This was such an impressive project that they shared in the Share Your Work channel on Discord that I just had to give the Abby a shout out for that one. Any shout outs from you, Isaac?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great project, by the way. Shout out to Manish Tyagi for sharing a list of some of the best paid open source internships. We really appreciate everyone in the community when they find a valuable resource like that, like internships or tutorials. We really love to see students sharing that list with everyone else, and I'll share that shortly. But yeah, shout out to you, Manish, and also shout out to uh, Vidi for celebrating 1.5 years of attending and winning some of their hackathons and scholarships. So definitely keep up the good work. We love to see students celebrating their achievements, and we love to see students sharing great resources they find with each other. So these are two things you'll definitely be able to see and also partake in when you join our community Discord server.
Yeah, speaking of our Discord server, let me just flash that across the screen because what we're sharing here is folks that we've seen really stand out in that Discord server. So if you're interested in joining that community, also a free opportunity, you can go ahead and do that. But let me pass the mic over to Pratik here. Pratik, do you have any advice for folks who are considering Postman Student Programs?
Yeah, so as you can see, I am here with Ruby and Isaac on the live stream. So a year ago, I started with Postman Student Programs. I also joined the Discord. Like Isaac said, someone shared job opportunities, open source. Ruby shared that someone shared a cool project of pendulum. So on, I would just like to say that join the Discord. We have a lot of amazing channels. We have games, memes, we have trainings, helps, we have events, we have work sharing, we have resources, we have everything. So just join the Discord and you will be amazed.
Awesome. You will be amazed is a great way to put it. There are so many amazing things happening in our community. One small shout out segment on our live streams is often not enough because we have so many people we want to highlight. But yeah, thanks for sharing that, Pratik. I'm going to pass the mic over to Rohit. Rohit, do you have any advice for anyone who's considering Postman Student Programs?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, I just like to say that for all the students who are hoping that they want to join, and if you have thought that you are not going to join, then I must tell that you will miss out on a lot of things, on a lot of school stuffs, right? Because our Discord has everything. Since I am an anime fan, and there is a specific group for anime where we discuss on a lot of different stuff, and obviously the API discussion from a high level to a low level, everything is discussed on the Discord. And except from that, all the little interaction, all the communication with the other members will let you on a lot of insights about what really Postman is, how everything there works, and you will learn a lot of stuff. And overall, you will gain a lot of experience which will help you in your life. So that will be all.
Yeah, definitely. I think speaking of experience, we had this exclusive hackathon in our Discord community. So if you weren't already a part of it, you might never have known that something cool was happening for us in our community. So make sure that you do join that community. That link again is on the screen right now. And you can, like I think Isaac is sharing here in the chat, level up your API skills, check out blogs, and check out all kinds of other cool stuff. Like Rohit mentioned, we have an anime channel. You can always buddy up with people and, find common ground and learn together. But yeah, let me pass the mic over to Chintan. Chintan, do you have any advice for anyone who's considering joining the Postman Student Programs?
Yeah, for sure. So the prerequisite for this challenge is that you should be joining Discord server. That's for sure. So after that, you enrolled in the challenge. The only thing is that just follow the instruction. And things pretty much become interesting when you find bugs where you're not able to solve what actually you're told to. So what I want is that just struggle through that phase. So don't just ask on the like help channel on Discord, like this is something which I'm not getting it and this is some sort of problem. Just can you help with me? I'm like, put at least one day or something like that, just Google it. It will make you a developer, because this is the thing, like whatever I'm learning, I am using Google for absolute all the time. And I would like to, like I will struggle for 24 hours also before asking anyone. So but it never happened like I wouldn't be finding any question on Google. There are always certain ways. Otherwise, you just have to pause for a little bit time, and you can subconsciously you will get your answer. Sometimes it's just a silly mistake. You forgot something. You enter a space which was not required in URL, but it seems like the URL endpoint is fine, but still there is that extra space. And this tiny stuff comes over the experience, and that's the thing. Like struggle through that phase and Google as much as you can. And second thing, try to help people as much as possible. There's this channel, if somebody is asking the question, try to what I do when somebody is asking question, if I don't know, I would be googling, I would be replicating the same scenario in my Postman, so I would be knowing what he or she is actually facing and try to solve that thing, considering you got the time. So I'm not telling that take precious time from your busy schedule. If you're free, you have time, do something, try to help people. You would be learning so many interesting things. So that's my takeaway. And I actually do all this stuff. This is something which I learned and I actually implemented. So it's not just telling from something else. Actually, I'm doing this every day.
I absolutely love that advice, Chintan. And I know that Isaac and myself actually see you a lot in our Discord community helping folks out. So that advice you shared about like make sure that you help others because you can learn that way too, really rings true, because there is a saying, the best way to learn is to teach. So you can't really necessarily claim that you know something if you can't teach it to somebody else. So that's really good advice there, Chintan, that you shared. And it's a great way to continue growing yourself in the community too. So thanks for sharing that, Chintan. Looks like, Isaac, we are ready to jump into our Kahoot game for everyone to join in on. So our guests here, Pratik, Rohit, and Chintan, and for anybody else who's new, we like jumping into Kahoot at the end of our stream. And if you've never used Kahoot, it's a quiz game that you can play for free with all of us right now live by logging into kahoot.it, and I'll share that across the screen in just a moment. You can log into kahoot.it on your phone or on your browser in another tab. But once you are on kahoot.it, you can enter the code that you'll see on the screen in just a moment. And let me see if I can share. I see Isaac has this code up, so let me add that to our caption here that you'll see on the screen. Oops, I didn't mean to share just yet. Let me edit. The code here is 592-1444. All right, so on the screen right now, you have kahoot.it and the code that you can enter to play with us. So go ahead and log in either on your phone or in another tab on your browser to join the game. Rohit, Pratik, and Chintan, you are welcome to join us as well. If you have your phone nearby, you can go to kahoot.it and enter this code to join the game. I'm really curious what kinds of questions Isaac has for us today. He often has a lot of punny questions, Punny.
All right, so we have a couple of good players here. Everyone, make sure you enter the game pin once you're on kahoot.it and join the game. We'll be beginning in like another minute or two. We got room for
one of the questions. Go ahead, Isaac.
5, 6. We have room for 4 more people.
Yeah. I hope there's a question about what the official Postman Flows hand gesture is. Amazon seal? That's an interesting
Is that a
one.
question that the Flows team posted themselves somewhere?
No, that is something that I started. I'm trying to make fetch happen.
Good luck.
Arlemy says, wait, I'm coming. So he'll probably be joining the game pretty soon.
Oh, okay.
But
Cool.
we won't know because Arlemy will have a nickname. So
Let us know when you're in, Arlemy.
maybe Arlemy is Bronze Newt.
We have a lot of cool names.
Arlemy is Bronze Newt.
Lucky Meerkat. All right, one more minute and then we're gonna start.
Oh.
So that.
Uh-oh, mystery. Arlemy says Bronze Newt is definitely not. Oh, I'm so confused.
Awesome. All right, I think we're good and we're ready to go. So let's begin the game. Kahoot. All right, first question. Who was the final Postmanaut guest in our last student program stream of 2022? Was it Ruby's dog, Isaac's dog, Claire's cat, or the API handyman Arnaud Leray? At some point, we did talk about the possibility of one of these guys coming on. So if you tuned in to any of our streams, you might have heard that.
May have been Claire's cat. You never know.
Might have been. Awesome. And the right answer was Arnaud. Good job, everyone who got that one correct. We got one choice for Claire's cat. One person picked Ruby's dog. Nobody picked my dog. Love that. All right. Next question. Here's the scoreboard. In first place, we got Lucky Meerkat, Dazzled Hawk in second, Bronze Newt in third, then Charming Bee and Rapid Yak. All right, question number 2. Blank are the atomic pieces used to make a flow. Every blank has a specific purpose, such as performing tasks or creating data. Is the answer messages, nodes, blocks, or chains?
We might have mentioned this so briefly as we were looking at the demos.
But if you did partake in the Flows Hackathon and went through the docs, you would know this. It's one of the first things mentioned. Awesome. And the right answer was blocks. Good job to everyone who got that one right. Looks like we got 2 choices for nodes, 1 for messages. And let's look at the scoreboard. And in first place is still Lucky Meerkat, Dazzled Hawk in second, Charming Bee took third, then Bronze Newt, and Amazon Seal. I actually really like the bandana panda. That's cool. After you complete the Student Expert program, then you earn your Student Expert badge, or you can start the Student Leader program, or is it you can share your experiences about the program with other students, or is it all of the above?
We got some hilarious option or comments in the chat
From this question?
from previous questions. Claire was
Oh, yeah.
asking, I have a cat.
Oh, that's gonna happen that's for later this year. Good job, everyone. The right answer was all of the above. Nice. Dazzled Huck is on fire, taking first place, and is then followed by Lucky Meerkat and Charming Bee. All right, next question. Postman Flows is a visual tool for creating API workflows. You can use flows to, is it chain requests, handle data, create real world workflows, or all of the above?
Remember, the faster you answer, the higher your score too.
Yeah. I'm actually curious to see what these comments were. Claire said, "I have a cat." That's yeah, we're predicting for later in the year, Claire, when you do get a cat. Awesome, and everyone got it right. It's all the above. Good job. And awesome. So it's getting really close. Let's go on to the final question. The three programs currently offered by Student Programs are, is it Student Expert, Student Master, and Student Super Saiyan? Is it Postman Ninja, Postman Pirate, and Postman Hero? Postman Galaxy, Postman Universe, or Postman Multiverse? Or Student Expert, Student Leader, and Classroom Program?
I know for a fact, or maybe I don't know, but Pratik, wouldn't you want to be a Postman Pirate? Wouldn't that be great?
Awesome. And the right answer was Student Expert, Student Leader, and Classroom Program. Good job to everyone who got that one right. And now let's go on to the podium for the final score. Third place is Bronze Newt. Lucky Meerkat is second, and in first is Dazzled Hawk. Awesome.
Ooh, good job. Congrats.
Yay. Good job to everybody who played. Thank you.
Looks like Arlemy shared a hot tip. My trick is if there's an all of the above option, then it's the answer.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad someone thought the options are hilarious.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Isaac, thanks for setting that up for us. We can start wrapping up our episode today. We're up to the minute. Wow, I don't think we've ever actually been up to the minute before. This is awesome. But this was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks to our guests, Pratik, Rohit, and Chintan, for your amazing and awesome Flows projects that you demoed and even shared some of your valuable learnings with our community. Thanks to our audience here for sharing great questions and comments in the chat as well. Isaac, any closing thoughts from you before we jump into our guest closing thoughts?
Congratulations to everyone who participated in our first Postman Flows Hackathon, and thank you for partaking. Also, congrats to our winners, and a big shout out and thank you to the Postman Flows team. And thank you for everyone for tuning in. And as always, please check out our next live streams for more fun games and talks like this. And we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, just adding on to that, we typically have our live streams on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We did have this one slightly earlier, so it's a little bit different, and that's because all of our guests are in IST time zone, so we wanted to be friendly to that, which turned out great for us because we got some amazing guests. So yeah, normally our episodes are at 4 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays, every other Tuesday. So 2 weeks from now, you can expect another one. But Rohit, did you want to share any closing thoughts before we jump into Pratik and then Chintan?
Yeah, so this whole experience was awesome. Having this live stream, getting the opportunity to share my flow and to sit with you guys and to see the chat all interactive and everything. It was really a great experience. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for joining us. Pratik, go ahead and share your closing thoughts.
I'll just say it was wonderful. It was great. I really like the Kahoot game though. Quiz.
Yeah, Isaac does an awesome job with those Kahoot games. Chintan, do you want to share your closing?
Yeah. So always try to explore new things. This is kind of a new experience for me. As this was my first live stream. I got kind of featured. So try to like learn new things, explore new things. That's all. Never limit yourself to just one domain or something like that. Try to like broaden your scope. That's would be my advice.
Awesome, solid advice there. We got some comments here on the screen as well. The options for the Kahoot game are hilarious. It's very true. But yeah, with that, we'll say goodbye to everyone and we'll see you on the next stream. Bye, all.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.